What's going on, guys? Running it back with another replay for you. Warriors of Chaos versus Greenskins, very fun matchup as per usual. You know, we've got a little bit of a nice mix of units in here. We've got some Hellstriders, we got lots of Marauders, of course. We got one Chaos Warrior out here on the flank, moving up into the trees. Very durable with the silver shields. Gonna be looking to try and control the number 3 objective, although the Acid Burpa might be having a little bit of something to say about it. Very cool to see Colossal Squigs more lately. Definitely a lot more common nowadays than they used to be. I think people have really figured out how to get maximum value out of them. But I do have a pretty perfect answer in the Rotting Riders here. Epic anti-large cavalry unit. Blessing of the Fly Lord, which gives them the damage resistance as long as their leadership is above broken. Or is it above half? Oh, higher than broken, yeah, so perfect. Regeneration also makes them very durable, even without heals. Sartorial's coming in here with Searing Doom, Final Transmutation. I've got the Rock of Inevitability and Standard Die, so very beefy chicken toolkit here. He's honestly pretty good being able to cast all of those spells and keep everybody in the fight. Searing Doom goes down on the Morkrum's Mangy Marauders, take out 15 models on those guys, put some pretty serious damage on them, which is really nice. They are an AP missile unit. They can be pretty annoying, you know. They get a few shots off on the Rotting Riders here, using some Marauders just to push them back and keep them a little bit more honest and in the middle of the Greenskin formation here. Horsemasters out on the flank, they've gotten some shots off on the Orc boys, just trying to poke them down with the javelins. Not a bad use of their ammunition, not the most effective, and they do get pushed back by the Rugloods, but it is something I'm gonna have to do. I am at a infantry disadvantage here. You know, the Orcs are just able to pour in so many cost-effective units, just at will oftentimes. Really big Searing Doom coming down here. Pulled my Hellstriders back a little bit just so that they didn't get nailed by it quite as badly. I have one unit that did engage. They got some good damage off on these Orc Boarboy Biggins. Broken Tusk Mob charging into the Rotting Riders. Pretty nice uptrade in most circumstances for the Greenskins. They don't have enough here to save these guys, though, and they just get absolutely folded up by the Rotting Riders. A lot of damage on these guys, though, but they only lost one model, and now I'm going to try and pull them out and get them in a position where they can get some support and also regen a little bit, maybe. More Hellstriders looking to get some damage on the Acid Burpa, get a little bit of damage off, but the Colossal Squig using that fart ability pushes them back a little bit, and then I am running now from the Boarboy Biggins, who are all over that unit. Desperately trying to chase me down, trying to stay ahead of them. I turn the Rotting Riders around, and I'm going to get a nice collapse here with the Hellstriders. With the Marauder support here, I'm actually going to be able to fully surround Inkars's mobility units here. While in the back, we do have the Marauder Great Weapons getting run over a little bit by Old Grom here. He's gotten some pretty good damage on a lot of my infantry. He's been rolling over the Marauders, racking up a ton of kills right off the bat, but some Hellstriders are looking for an opportunity to isolate him here. Here in the back, I do have Hellstriders getting caught. Very unfortunate. They did value trade decently well, though. Not the worst situation. It's given me plenty of time to get some great charges off on the other side of the battlefield here, where the Rotting Riders with the Hellstriders able to crush another Orc Boarboy Biggin. Another in full retreat, while Sartorial just rolls around, dropping some spells, lots of Searing Dooms going off, and Grom is in the danger zone back here. No support for him, really. The Colossal Squig, the Acid Burpa looking to get back here, but Sartorial is much quicker to the party, getting a lot of damage down on Old Grom, who is now routing, looking to try and finish the Greenskin Lord here and induce some serious leadership penalties on them. It's a pretty even game in terms of the value trading up to this stage. My opponent does have the ticket lead. Nothing too serious, and the Morkrum's Mangy Marauders actually in a really bad spot here, punishing the overextension with my Marauder Horsemasters as well as the Hellstriders, who just absolutely tear those guys apart. Even with the WA active, the value trading is going pretty well in my favor. Chaos Warriors occupying 3 different units over here. Some Squig Herd. We got Orc Boy Spears, 2 of them. fighting my warriors, who are holding pretty well and attracting a lot of attention over there, while elsewhere on the battlefield I'm trying to mop up the more dangerous units. Grom goes down, the Acid Burpa just gets absolutely deleted by the Rotting Riders here. They come in, they get a full surround off, do a ton of damage, and Sartorial here contributing a little damage, while the Hellstriders and the Marauder Horsemaster is going to be finishing those guys off. Very strong mobility core left on the field for myself, and the Rotting Riders causing a lot of havoc now with just tons of good side charges on Orc Boy Spears, running over those guys, getting some really good routes going with the terror that they cause also. Still a really close game though, but my opponent is in a lot of trouble without the Lord on the field. The Acid Burpa goes down as well. Just committing way too hard to trying to save the Lord back there and not having the proper tools. You know, a lot of the mobility did get punished pretty hard pretty early. And a beautiful Searing Doom actually breaks all of the infantry over here. You know, Sartorial and Searing Doom, man, is a great combo. Final Transmutation, I haven't had an opportunity to cast yet, but looking for a chance. I'm gonna definitely find an opportunity at some point in this game. I was determined to make a good choice of targeting with it, and not use it on something inefficient like cavalry or just big blobs of infantry, where it really does do okay damage, but isn't nearly as efficient as the Searing Dooms often are in those same circumstances. Rugloods have been trading very well, and we do have some Flappas moving in back here. Sartorial landing in and getting some good damage off, good value from them. Lots of Forsaken on the field. They're clearing out some of the chaff here, but the Swamp Things punishing them pretty badly. Although I do have some more Forsaken and now some Blood Beasts on the field for some hard-hitting mass outside of the Rotting Riders, who have taken quite a bit of damage. I'm going to pull them back, try and let them regen a little bit. They've been doing a pretty good job of hanging in, but actually deciding to send them into the Biggins here just to crush that unit. And try and get rid of as much of the mobility for my opponent as possible. Using the Hellstriders here, finding a good opening onto the Swamp Things here, who are very exposed, and they take a wicked charge from the Hellstriders. With Sartorial landing in here, all the Swamp Things do cause terror, they're not going to tear out themselves. Their leadership is looking really flimsy right now. Very, very punishable. Another good Searing Doom comes down, hitting all of these targets. Rock of Inevitability being popped. I believe Standard Die is also active here. Sartorial just flipping this fight so solidly. Such a good Lord option. I mean, Terror Route's going down on basically the entire Greenskin force here. We got Orc Boys running, we got the Flappas, they Terror Routed and are now properly routing. The Horsemasters running down some of the Arrow Boys here. They've got some pretty solid value, nothing too insane, but definitely contributing some very nice value totals and kill counts with their missiles and their good ability to charge stuff down. They've got pretty solid combat stats for a Skirmish Cav unit. Broken Tusk Mob moving in, gets a nice charge off, getting some big damage on me. And here are the Rotting Riders. This is where I pulled them back. I knew I did it at some point in the game. They've gotten 2100 value, pretty much paid for themselves. I don't really need them to overextend right now. I've got plenty of support for the Blood Beasts, and while they are getting beat up by the Broken Tusk Mob a little bit here, there are enough Forsaken and Chaos Warriors mixed in here to give them an opportunity to fight back, and you can see how much damage they're putting down on this very elite cavalry unit for the Orcs. Breaking them, they're going to be running now. Still have some Orc Boys here. Do have the double cap finally, and going to be looking to maintain that for the rest of the game. Also, Thoriel, very healthy, absolutely no damage on this guy, and he's racked up 2200 value, landing in here looking to finish off the Night Goblin Shaman, gets a Terror Route. Getting rid of the magic for my opponent. You know, these little Orc Shaman casters with Sneaky Stabbin' and the Vindictive Glare, it's been pretty nice. I mean, it definitely contributes a lot to the punching power of the Boar Boys, as well as a variety of the other targets on the field. You really don't want to leave, like, Orc Boys to just get Sneaky Stabbin' and uptrade into all of your stuff. But Night Goblin Shaman does kind of squeak out of the fight, and we do have the Hellstriders committing in. I've got more Marauder Horsemasters looking to get some flanks, while Sartorial Finally taking a little bit of poke through his shield, but just continuing to trounce all of the infantry here, contributing some damage against the cavalry, while we just completely crush this middle position here. I mean, we've got a bunch of very tattered units, but the Greenskins have a lot committed here too, and a final transmutation coming down. Night Goblin Shaman just at the edge of the radius gets nailed by it. Takes a ton of damage. The Swamp Things in here also just get absolutely obliterated. The last of the Broken Tusk Mob going down here. Rugloods get nailed as well. And Sartorial just racks up about 1,000 value with one solid spell cast there. Beautiful opportunity for it. That's exactly why I brought it. I didn't think there would be a tremendous number of opportunities to use it, but I did want something to punish some blobs. I had plenty of skirmish and good mobility. With Searing Doom, I figured I could control the flank fights. The last thing that I thought about when I was making the build was, what do I do if there's just, you know, like some really big lords and hero squads on an objective? It's going to be a little hard with my build to actually break that open, so really glad I brought it, because that was the straw that broke the camel's back here, and Incars is going to be throwing in the towel, but really well played. It was a scrappy game throughout, man. You can see we've got the Rotting Riders, the last of them up here, running down a bunch of Orc Boys. I was trying to use them just to keep stuff out of this very pivotal fight over here. I figured I could, you know, make do with what I had left on the field. They got some really solid value for me as it stood. 181 kills, 2,400 value. Very solid, dependable unit, honestly. As long as you don't overextend the Rotting Riders, they're excellent. They are insanely expensive, so playing carefully with them can be a little difficult at times. Value elsewhere, not a lot on the Marauders. The Marauder Great Weapons who were fighting Grom did get some pretty good value. I mean, 683 on a 450 gold unit ain't bad at all. Chaos Warriors left a little to be desired on the value side of things, but that's to be expected against a faction that's got a lot of anti-infantry AP. Lots of good mobility to punish heavily armored units. They were a really good distraction, and my opponent really did kind of fall into the bait to try and kill those guys with all of those Orc Spears and the Rugloods, who spent quite a lot of time shooting at them. Good value on the Rugloods, though. They're 800 gold or so. So 1,000 value on them certainly is pretty nice. Really, the big mistakes just came down to the Colossal Squig and Grom the Paunch. Kind of getting overextended, and they just got massively punished, while the Morgrubs also ended up in the backfield, where my mobility was just able to take better advantage there, and good value on two of the Marauder Horsemasters, while all the Hellstriders were doing pretty well for themselves. Also the Blood Beasts. Love me some Blood Beasts. Definitely one of the most solid units on the Khorne and Warriors of Chaos roster. They just get really solid value. It's very rare that these guys don't get at least 1,000, or at the very least act as a very dependable source of mass and damage so that your other units can get some damage off. Like, piling them in with Forsaken really is just a great combo. Forsaken are quick enough to get underfoot of the Blood Beasts, have good damage output in their own right, while the Blood Beasts just stop Forsaken from getting run over by mobility and mass, and can also, you know, do really good damage in their own right. No Aspiring Champions this game. Didn't really need them. I like them. Lots of Chaos players bring them in numbers, but I prefer to keep them limited to 1 or 2. And they usually come in my reserves, just to get up on an objective and be just an absolutely obnoxious piece of cap weight to try and remove. They are so obscenely tanky, and they wreck chaff pretty horrendously, so it would have taken a lot for the Greenskins here to get rid of them. Would have been nice to have the Acid Burp before that, but once all that stuff went offline, I really just needed more mobility in the mid and late game to close it out. They probably would have been my next summon there at the end if Incars hadn't have called it in. I'd have just brought the Aspiring Champions out to cap that side objective he'd been holding all game. leave them there alone and then consolidate on the other two objectives, and it would have been a very quick wind down from there, I would guess. So Thoriel's just so healthy, man. He got 3,300 value. Love this guy. Definitely one of the better Lord options for Warriors of Chaos, who really are spoiled for choice, honestly. They've got Azazel, they've got Valkia, Sigvald's good sometimes, Archeon is probably the most meta option, but Sartorial can get in here and get some pretty good values in his own right. And he's a little bit better at supporting flank fights, just because he's flying and has Rock of Inevitability. He can dive in, debuff the speed and melee defense of whatever your opponent is fighting, or whatever you're fighting, and give your units the added benefit of being able to chase things down. It's damn strong, especially with the combo of Hellstriders and like elite cav like the Rotting Riders or Chaos Knights. Usually can get some really sick value that way. That's going to be it for this one, guys. Been talking in the post-game for quite a while now. I'll leave it off here, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. GG's. Peace.